Well, hello and happy new year, everybody. Kevin the Comic Doctor coming to you with another little delve into my personal comic book collection. And this is like the fourth installment of this particular little series I'm doing. I've got so many books. I always do about 7 or 8 books at a time, so we can chat about each one, tell you where I got them from, maybe some stories that go along with them. Anyways, I hope you've all had a fantastic holiday season. I know I certainly have. It's been a pretty busy week and a half of just, family stuff and, Christmas stuff and all that sort of thing. It's been pretty hectic around here. And yeah, I've been pressing books as much as possible, but I'm going to be honest, didn't get as much done as I'd like the last couple of weeks. I guess you got to relax sometimes, don't you? So I have been making rather merry when at all possible. So anyways, here I am with another look at some of my books. And this time, like I promised, I'm going to do DC books only. And I don't have a lot of DC books. I just grabbed some of the ones that I could find rather quickly. I have some more as well, but these are some nice DC keys I think you're going to enjoy. And I'm going to share them with you right now. I've got about 45 minutes or so to talk with you guys today. It is New Year's Eve, so we have, because of COVID, we had plans for a little larger gathering, but unfortunately, due to what's happening, we've decided to keep it pretty small. So it's just gonna be myself and my wife and the kids, and I probably just watch some movies or whatever. But yeah, we're gonna ring in the new year pretty quietly this year. But I thought I'd come on here and do this video with you. I haven't been on here for about a week or so. Anyways, let's start off with a book that I'm sure a lot of you have already. And this is a book, I've got many copies of this. This is, of course, The Killing Joke first print. I've always loved this book. This is a book I bought off the shelf many years ago. I bought several copies, and this one happened to come back in 9/8, which was really nice. And this is in my personal collection. Yeah, and again, when it comes to modern books, I like to have 9/8. I just, 9/6 I guess is okay, but I tend to, if it's a 9/8, I kind of keep them. I kind of hang on to them, but that's the first one. A modern book. What next? Here's the one I picked this one up from a collection many years ago. I picked it up raw, and it's Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen 134, the first appearance of Darkseid. Right there. It's at an 8.5, and again, it's an older label, and I had this one. I worked on this book and sent it in. It came back in 8.5. Maybe I'll take a closer look and see if I can get maybe a 9 out of it, because it is a really clean book. And I remember when this came back in 8.5, I was kind of shocked because I thought this one was going to come back around a 9.2. So maybe this one needs to be cracked. And this is a book that's been in value has kind of spiked and gone down and spiked and gone down. It's still a very affordable book if you don't have a first Darkseid, a key villain, obviously, in the DC universe. Certainly one it's nice to have in your collection as well. So there's that one. And I picked this one up again here in Oshawa from a fellow who, I think I told the story already on another episode, where he had bought a lot of albums, record albums in a locker, and he ended up getting, geez, I can't even remember how many boxes of comics as well. And that was one comic I picked up from that collection. Another one from that collection actually is this one right here. And funny enough, it also came back. It looks like 8.5 is going to be kind of a running theme here. First Silver Age appearance of Two-Face. It's not first appearance, first Silver Age appearance of Two-Face in Batman and Robin 234. That's a nice copy too. And unlike the square-bound books that Marvel loved to put out, now don't get me wrong, DC had square-bound books as well, but DC also used to just bind these fatter jumbo books just the old-fashioned way with staples and no glue and what have you. And this is an example of just that. A really nice copy, again, 8.5. And another book, I can see why it's an 8.5. I was hoping for a 9 on this one, but little minor dog ears in the corners there and at the bottom as well keeps this book at an 8.5. But nonetheless, still a nice book, an off-white to white pager, a great copy to have in my collection. There was a time there when I was going to go and get all the Silver Age Batman villains. And maybe I still will. Who knows, right? But some of them are really pricey. A good copy of Poison Ivy now is even in a 3 or a 4 is big money. So anyways, there is that. What else do we have here? Let's keep up with the 8.5. Here's another one. First appearance of Orion, Light Ray, Metron. or Mitron, Highfather, and Kalibak in New Gods, #1. Nice copy in 8.5. This is a book I see oftentimes in really bad condition. I rarely see this book in a really nice high grade. They tend to come in mid grades. When I look at these books, people bring them in for pressing, cleaning, and grading. You're usually getting this book in like 7, 7.5, 8. I rarely see these books into the 9s. They are very common to the back page. Oftentimes on this book is discolored. I wouldn't say it's cream or anything like that. This book's a white page book actually, but the cover itself is kind of tanned, and that's very common on this vintage of DC book. But also another book I love, cool Jack Kirby art. Awesome book. Kirby is here, baby. Look at that. So yeah, there's another DC one right there for you. What else do I have? We've got anything older here? Well, here's one I picked up recently. You already saw this. I showed this one a few weeks ago. I picked this one up. What's his name? Oh my goodness. Brian out of Ajax Pickering. I picked this up off him, a 9.2 Demon #1. I always love this. Again, another Kirby. You seeing a theme here, guys, with Kirby? I love this stuff, right? I had a feeling this book was going to pop, so I wanted to find a nice copy. And I sold the copy I had in shop way too cheap, but you know what? That's okay. But as soon as I did it, I realized I got to get myself another copy of Demon #1. And I looked, and that was on the local classified, so I snatched up pretty quick. What else do I have here? Let's go to the chat and see what you guys are saying first. Let's see who's here so I can wish everybody a happy new year. Well, we got some people chatting right now. Chatting up a storm, it looks like. Whoop, nope, close it, I close it. There we go. Oh, come on. Let's see who is here. Who's in the house? Yeah, James is here. Hey, James. Stav is here. How you doing, guys? Happy New Year. Marty, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for coming by. Time for a break, Stav. Yeah, I took a little bit of a break. You know what? I took about a week off. I said, you know what? No videos. I'm just going to work on, the comics. And I'll be honest, I had a lot of books. The last 2 episodes of What's in the Press had a lot of books. And there were other books that I had that were not on that show. And I was a bit overwhelmed. And I still am behind by about 20 books on those 2 last episodes. So I got a bit of work still to do. And as you know, I'm moving into the new shop, and that's happening sooner rather than later. And I have to get that all organized as well too. But I am confident that once I get into that new shop and Charlo and I start getting down to business, I'm going to hammer down this wait time and finally get to a decent turnaround time. So yeah, time for a break is right. Kyle, how's it going? Happy New Year. Thanks for coming by. Thomas is here. Kevin, you're live. When do we get to see What's in the Press? Probably another episode of What's in the Press. I'm going to try for next week, but I'm not promising anything next week. Next week, I'm training Charlo, and if I can do a What's in the Press, I will. And then probably in the months coming up, What's in the Press might actually take place from my actual shop. I'm not sure yet, but it might be. It might come from the office. I'm up in the air. Maybe I'll do sometimes there, sometimes here. I am not sure. Stav, when is the shop opening? The new shop, well, the leasehold, the owner of the area is telling me middle of January I can take it, but it still needs some work, so we'll see. I'm hoping by mid to end of January. And then I was not planning on going to the shop on, at all, like on Saturdays for the next few weeks. I just want to get caught up here, and I want to get the shop organized. And right now the shop is all torn down. It's in pieces. And Roy and I are going to go there tomorrow and move the cabinets around, because I got to use the small shop for the next couple of weeks for training. And then, so there's not a lot of room in there right now. Okay. But I mean, if your orders are all done and I tell you they're done and you want to pick them up, we can make arrangements to meet to have you pick up if you have outstanding completed orders. And I still haven't gone through all those comics that came in the last few weeks. Sorry, I haven't done it yet. Rob Collects, how you doing? Happy New Year, Rob. Jameer is here. Hey, Jameer Mungan, how's it going, buddy? James is also here. Got a couple of Jameses here. Stavros, what is your New Year's resolution? Well, my pre-New Year's resolution was no more Coke, zero, and aspartame. And I'm going to tell you, That giving up that Coke Zero was not as easy as I thought it was going to be. The first week was no problem. The second week was okay. But this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, today I was feeling pretty good. I was having migraine headaches and heart palpitations. I thought I was having a heart attack at one point, but I did my research, and apparently when you're coming off of aspartame, you get like anxiety and whatever when you're coming off of it. And I felt awful. I really did not feel well. And that also stopped me from doing as much work as I'd like to. And also lots of fatigue. Can you believe that? I couldn't believe the side effects and the withdrawal side effects from coming off of Coke Zero. So anyways, that was my pre-New Year's resolution. My New Year resolution is to get on top of these comic books and to try to get them done a lot quicker. And I'm already making moves to get that done. And I wouldn't mind dropping about 20 or 30 pounds, but we'll see. I'm not going to push myself because I'm going to push myself, but maybe not right away. Hi, Kevin. I have a Seal 210M press that would periodically spike in temperature. Any ideas of how to resolve this? Comics with Bonix. Yes, I do know how to stop that. What you need to do, comics with Bonix, and I need to make a video about this. You need to take the thermostat out. It's the thermostat's it's faulty. And trying to find a thermostat for a 210M, you might actually find a new thermostat for a Seal 210M. You want to look up D and K Photography, the letter D and K Photography. Give them a call. If your press is the vintage, I think it is, from like the 980s and 90s, you can probably replace the thermostat altogether. If it's an older one, then you can take the thermostat out and you can clean the contacts and readjust it. But I got a feeling that thermostat you have is gone bye-bye. So I would give them a call at D&K and see if you can buy a replacement thermostat. They're very easy that whole machine is very easy to take apart and put back together again. It's very mechanical. It's very simple. So that's what I would do. That's probably what's going on. The Real Hyperion. Oh, and another thing too, actually, the comics with Bonix. There are people, and I haven't done this yet, but you can buy digital thermostats on eBay for like 12, 13 bucks. But you need an electrician or someone who works on appliances to install this onto your press. And you can actually turn your press into a digital machine. And that would be ideal because you can be very specific with your temperatures. I have not done it yet. I bought some thermostats, like some digital thermostats to do that and control boxes, but I haven't had an opportunity to try to make it work. But I have seen other guys do that, and they turn their old manual mechanical thermostat seal machines into digital machines. Makes life a lot easier, especially when you want to maintain a precise temperature. Those spiking machines are dangerous on modern books. Be very, very careful. Hope that helps. The Real Hyperion. Do you know anybody that specializes in getting rid of restoration? James, you know what? I'm going to tell you something. Funny enough. Yeah, CCS. You would think CCS, right? The last two books I sent down for restoration removal were both rejected. I sent down that Hulk 181 you all saw. That came back all cracked. I had to send that back to get reslabbed. Anyways, that one has been that they rejected that one all completely. And then I sent down an X-Men number 9, I think it was 7 or 9, I forget, and then they rejected that one as well. So they're not loving the idea of resto removal. James, what I recommend you do is get onto Instagram and go look up Sanderson Studios. Sanderson, just how it sounds, Sanderson Studios, and talk to Kenny Sanderson. Or you can give Phantom Restoration as well. And I forget that gentleman's name, but I believe they both also dabble in restoration removal as well. They're both good guys, and your books will be in good hands with either one of those gents. Okay? Jameer, DC first appearance and first cameo covers are fire I think they are too, Jameer. I think they're hidden gems in some cases. A lot of people are starting to pick those up. And so if you can, I grab them. I grab them when I can. Podshed, how you doing, buddy? Demon is a nice book. I love the Demon book. And Stavros, let me know when you're open so I can get that trade done. Yes, Stavros, I'm happy to help you with that. And once everything's kind of back in order, Happy to help you with that trade. Stav, I just found out that a book I have has a detached staple. It's a 7.5. That sound right? Thought it would be no higher than a 4 because of the staple issue. Well, it depends where the staple is detached. Is it detached in the center, like the center page, or is it the cover is detached? You'd be surprised how many books I get that have detached staples. It's a very, 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 very common, guys. Always check your books for staple detachments because it's very common. Because you know what, guys? It's paper. It's paper. It's fragile and it's old. And I think even inside of a long box being shifted back and forth, there's pressure put on that staple. And over time, a staple can come apart. The page can come apart from the staple. So yeah, I've seen books with detached staples. I've had books with no staple. I've had an X-Men 266 come back at 9.8 and it was missing a staple. It was a factory problem. So they didn't give it a problem at all. Anyways, there it is. Let's get back and look at some more DC goodness, shall we? What else we have here? Here's what I had for sale for a while. It's not for sale. Well, it's for sale. Somebody wants it. But it's a Batman Annual #1. The Secrets of Batman's Utility Belt. Kind of a cool annual. It comes back in a 7.0. Not a bad grade. And this is a really cool one because, again, as kids, we always love to see what Batman had inside of his utility belt, right? Especially if you're a fan of the 1966 Batman TV series and movie, and the shark repellent and the Batarang and all the different, contraptions he has in there. So this book kind of outlines all those things, which is kind of fun, right? It's kind of fun. What else do we have? This one is cool. Well, I'll save the big one for last. This one here is a book I always wanted. Brave and the Bold 54. First appearance of the Teen Titans. Lower grade, 4.5. But nonetheless, still first appearance of the Teen Titans. Robin, Kid Flash, and Aqualad. Pretty awesome book. I've always liked that cover, and I always wanted that book, and I picked it up, and there it is. So a first Teen Titans book. Yeah. It's hot in here. I just had the presses on, guys. Oh boy. That press is not on right now, but every other press in this room was on, and this room is just boiling hot. This one's a bit of a shame. You know what? I picked this one up from a buddy of mine. He really wanted to move it, and I didn't really want to buy it, but I did. And you know what? It's probably going to be going up pretty soon, and I'm probably going to sell this one. Action Comics 252, first appearance of Supergirl. Only in a 1-0, but look at that, and you'll see why it's a 1-0. Big chunk of the front cover is ripped off. But you know what? It's not the worst tear I've ever seen. I've seen books with a lot worse. But nonetheless, it's a full, everything else is there. You got some water damage down here. But it is the first appearance of Supergirl. And Kara Zor-El. And yeah, I'll probably move this one. It's a bit low for me. I'd like a higher grade copy. So this one will be for sale probably closer to when The Flash comes out, because I know they're featuring Supergirl in that. But it's a pretty decent copy otherwise. I was humming and hawing. He was, "Do you want to buy it?" I'm like, "Well, I don't know. It's a 1-0. I really don't like 1-0. I prefer to have like at least a 3. A 3 or a 3.5 is more up my alley." But the price kept coming down a little bit, down. I said, okay, I'll buy it, I guess. So anyways, at least, her image is there, and Superman's there, and that's not, and the Action Comics logo is still intact. So that is not too bad, I suppose. Yeah, Cream Pager. First Supergirl. And the last one I have for you guys here has a big story to tell with it. And this one, I would sell this one too, but if I don't care. This one here is a 7.5 Justice League of America #1, and you'll notice it's got the dreaded purple resto label, right? So I picked this book up about 2 or 3 years ago. I may have told the story before, and if I have, I apologize, but I bought that because you're talking about resto removal. Let me tell you about resto removal at CCS and what happened to me, and it really sucked. So I had this book. It came back at 7.5, and the restoration on it said small amount of glue on spine and color touch. And that was it. Now, after I pressed this book, I thought the book looked as though it had been trimmed. You know, I thought this book has been trimmed, but I'll take my chance. I sent it in. Like I said, it came back with color touch and glue on spine. Now, as you know, glue on spine and color touch oftentimes can be removed. And I thought, hey man, if I can get this 7.5 to a 4 or a 3.5, 4, 5 blue label, happy, super happy, right? Because I love this for my collection. And so I sent it back. I sent it back to CCS for restoration removal. So again, guys, just because you send books to CCS for restoration removal does not mean automatically that it's going to be accepted, that they're going to do the work, right? So I send it back. I waited like 3 or 4 months for a response. I don't know why it took so damn long. But they responded and said, actually, they responded about 2 months later and said, your book has been accepted. We're going to do the work on it. I'm like, yeah, they're going to take the resto off. Awesome. I was very happy. And then I waited 2 more months. And then I got another letter saying, we can't do the work. We're sending the book back as it came to us. So I'm thinking, okay, well, the book's coming back. It's going to still be, you know, glue on spine and color touch. I have to live with it. Big deal. So I get the book back and I read the restoration label. Restoration includes, like I said to you, small amount of color touch on cover, small amount of glue on cover, and then they added something. Right there in bold, right edge trimmed. Yeah, I was pretty pissed off. So they keep the book for almost 4 months. When first they said they're going to do the work, then they don't do the work, and they not only not do the work, they kick me in the gut and add right label trimmed. That is why I tell people, be careful when you send books back to CGC for whatever reason, whether you want to have it reholdered, you want a new custom label put on it, or you want to have it pressed by them, or you want to have whatever work done. There's always that chance that the grader prior, the other guy before, forgot something. And they forgot. And I remember I told you, I thought the book was trimmed originally too, to be quite honest with you. And now I guess I was right because it came back trimmed. So the value of the book went down even more. So I was pretty disappointed in that. Anyways, like, is it a nice looking book? Damn right, it's a nice looking book. It's a 7.5. You know, it's still, I don't even know where the color touch in this book is. I've looked for the color touch. I can't seem to ever find it. Maybe I need to I think it's along the edge of the spine. I cannot see the glue on it either. But anyways, yeah, pretty disappointed about that. But it is what it is. Anyways, there it is. Those are some of my DC books. What books do you have? Let me know. I know what DC books have you been looking for, or that you have in your collection that are your favorites. Let me know in the comment section below. And guys, always remember, when you leave comments in the comment section below, you automatically enter yourself into draws to win fabulous, amazing things when I hit those momentous subscription numbers, the next one being 1,500 subscribers. Actually, big thanks to Jamie Knott. Again, Jamie has provided some more gifts to give away. They actually arrived in the mail yesterday. There's some Spider-Man cards, I believe. I'll take them out of the package and show them to you guys later. And again, those will be up for grabs when I hit 1,500 subscribers. What are you guys talking about? I am melting in here. Stav also says, it's slabbed. It was just looking up grader notes. Now they are free. Yes, they are. Isn't that amazing? About time the grader notes are free. Although many grader notes are pretty damn vague. I mean, they have a list of things to say. You know what I mean? They're generic responses. They're not like personalized, your comic, whatever. No, it's very just a standard responses on those grader notes. So they're not very detailed, really. Hey there, Luke. How's it going? This episode was for you. DC Books, buddy. DC Books. I know they're your favorite. And James says, did you hear that General Zod will be in Flash as well? Yes, I heard about that yesterday. that General Zod is going to be there, and listen, guys, I think because General Zod is going to be there, I'm going to have to say that Henry Cavill's Superman will probably be there as well. Think about No Way Home. We heard about the villains first, and then the superheroes followed. And I got a feeling we're going to see Henry Cavill back as Superman as well. Luke, yeah, Action 252 is on my want list for 2022. Well, I have one here for you, Luke, if that grade is okay for you. Thomas, some of the books I gave you seem to be very dirty and grimy. Is it hard to clean books, and how long does it take? Well, Thomas, it depends on exactly what I'm looking at, like, and how a book has been. I'm gonna try to make myself even. I'm gonna lean over this way. Hold on one second. Let me fix my camera here for a sec. I'm gonna go over here. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna fix this here. There we go. I'll go back to the chat. There we go. All right. So that's a big question. Every book is different. If you have a book that has never been bagged and boarded, has been sitting in a garage for 35 years, it's going to have lots of dirt and soot and grime all over it. And that book's going to take a little bit longer than, say, a book that was well taken care of, bagged and boarded from the same vintage, right? You have books that have been well taken care of and stored properly, but then the book's own, I guess, the decomposition of itself does cause the acids and the chemicals within the bag can cause grime on the back of the book too. But oftentimes that doesn't leave a hell of a lot of dirt. But books that have been left out of bags, exposed to the elements, not like to the weather, but to to a basement or to a garage, you're going to get a lot more dirt in that. And so, yeah, those books are going to take a lot longer. New books, you'd be surprised. Books from the 80s and the 90s, again, if they were not stored properly, they could be pretty dirty as well. Now, again, remember, books that are colored covers, colored back covers, if they've got that grimy feel, I use my chem sponges to clean the grime off, to get that grimy feeling away. And it will pick up a lot of the dirt and crud that's on the book. White covers that have actual like dirt or I call it grime and dirt like on the page, I can actually erase that and take that off. I also use the chem sponge for that as well. Now, to answer your question, how long does it take? Again, it depends on how dirty a book is. I mean, some books will take you 3-4 minutes. Other books will take you 20-25 minutes. It just depends on how dirty a book is. And I'm telling you, I've said this before, when you're cleaning and pressing books, I think that the most dangerous part of cleaning and pressing books is not the pressing, it's the cleaning, especially if you're dealing with brittle pages, older books, fragile, well-read books, rubbing, rubber over top of it, or even that chem sponge, if you're not very careful, you can cause damage. And that's why you want to be very, very careful and take your time and be very slow when you're cleaning books, because that is where the tears can occur. That is where the creasing can occur. If you push too hard with your rubber eraser, you can actually remove the gloss from comics. And there's ways of getting that back, but that's another story. And it's only in some cases. So you got to be very careful. So I hope that answers your question. I do have a video on the tools of cleaning and pressing. You might want to check that out. I kind of get into that a little bit as well. And I did a video with Shelby's Comics a few weeks ago. We talked about dry cleaning. So head over there and check their video out as well on that. And there's a lot of details there as well. So thanks for the question. Great question. Let's see. Stavros, send it back. Might come a blue label. Stavros, you talking about the Justice League book? And Luke, that is a bit unlucky. Okay, I'm getting things out of context here. I'm not sure what we're talking about again. Sorry. Thinking about getting George Perez to autograph a few books. Yeah, you can. Brad, if you want to. I don't know. Again, I had George Perez sign a couple of my books. They were not witnessed though, so they're just signed. If you want to, I mean, sure. The DC presents Teen Titans, yeah, and I had him do a couple of mine actually. They're put away somewhere. Am I jumping around? Oh, Stav also says, does the trim affect the book more? Or is purple label a purple label? Well, I'll tell you, when you have a book that says color touch and glue on cover, people think that, hey, it's possible to reverse that. Maybe I can reverse that. As soon as you put trimmed cover, it's trimmed. You can't do jack about it. The paper's gone. Now, that being said, I know of some people that can play with trimmed covers and get rid of that trimmed remark, but you're basically destroying the book, right? You're really destroying the book. And I have never done that, and I don't ever want to do that, but there are guys who can do all sorts of things and try their luck. But again, there's never any guarantees when you start, playing with these books that have been restored. Like I said, when I did that Scorpion book, the ASM 20, it was a can of worms. You start doing one thing, then another thing happens, another thing happens. Next thing you know, the book it's going from a 7.5 to a 4. It's like, because you are damaging the book. And that's why I think CGC now has, unless it's a really easy fix, they are not even going to try to resto remove. They're not even going to try to do it, Drunk. You were just sweating out the aspartame. That's not a bad thing, I guess. He probably having a sauna would be good to get all that crud out of your body, all the toxins and crappy chemicals out of your body. Thomas says, when you crack and work on books, do you look at grader notes? Honestly, no, I don't. I see all the problems. I see the problems of the book, and to be honest, I really feel, Thomas, that many times the comments are so vague. Bend on cover. Okay, it's obviously a bend. There's a bend on the cover, or color breaking creases. It's all there. When I take a book out of the slab, I see everything. And I look, I've been doing this now for over 10 years, guys. I when I see a book, I can tell right away. I can tell right away what can be fixed, what can't be fixed, and have a pretty good idea what the book's going to turn out like in the long run, right? I do appreciate if people have their grader's notes and they want to show me the grader's notes. I'll look at them over, of course, but I don't actively look it up. I just take the book out and go. I just cracked 4 big books today, actually, that I'm currently working on. Luke, you got some pretty cool stuff. Yeah, you know what? Again, I don't actively look for DC stuff, but if it pops up and I like the cover, or if it's a significant book, I'll grab it. I have more DC stuff as well. I'm sure of it. I'm sure I do. I have a few more boxes. Again, nothing major. I don't have like an Action Comics #1 or early tech books or anything like that. I have a couple of early Golden Age books, but they're not worth anything like, big money books, but they're cool books. I'll dig those ones out for my another unboxing. You'll really like those. Luke, recent pickup for me was a Tech 35960. Nothing wrong with that, man. Nothing wrong with that. Stav, wait till you see the slabbed hulks. They are dirty. Well, lucky me. Ugh. Dirty books, you gotta do. And I'll tell you, when you have dirty books and you're doing dry cleaning on really filthy books, and the book is in terrible condition, and when I say terrible condition, I mean the book is very fragile, right? I can have one book here that's very, very dirty, but the integrity of the book is there, and have the exact same book beside it that is fragile, super, brittle pages, all there, but brittle. And as dirty, I cannot do as good a job on that brittle book because I cannot be as aggressive with that book. And when I say aggressive, I'm not aggressive, right? Okay. But some paper can handle a little more than others, right? And you have to be able to gauge that. That's why when you're dry cleaning books, practice, and be very, you get to know the paper really well. You get to know how much pressure, I can tell by the paper how much pressure I should put on the book, where I put my other hand when I'm working on it. I hold the book down very carefully as I'm working on it, because if you just kind of willy-nilly, you're gonna tear pages and cause more problems. And so you got to be very, very careful. Junk Drunk. I don't get what the big deal is with trimming, since they originally trimmed the books off the presses anyways, as long as the trimming hasn't sliced the book in half. Yeah, it's one of those things. I guess you're removing a little bit of the book. I don't know, maybe maybe a trim book should be under qualified, because that's kind of more like what qualified's all about, right? The qualified label, I believe, is there primarily if something is missing from the book, or if something has been added to the book, like a signature or what have you, right? So in a way, perhaps trimming should not be considered restoration, but rather a qualified label. Because restoration should include things like color touch, pieces added. Look, I don't know. They make the rules, guys. Even when you put tape on a book, isn't that not in a way kind of restoring the book as well? But they don't look at that way, so I don't know. Potishin, can you explain purple and green label? I think I just did. I think I just did. But again, green label if something's missing from the book, like an ad has been cut out, or there's a page missing, or if it's an unverified signature, something's been added to the book, that's qualified. But if the book has been doctored in terms of its integrity, if pieces have been added, if the spine has been reinforced, if gloss has been added to the book, if again, they consider trimming is considered restoration. Like I said, color touch, glue, on the spine as well too. Those are all purple label. I remember you had those super old DC with those cardboard like covers, comics Cavalcade. Yeah, they're gone. They're gone. Luke is talking about Comics Cavalcade #1 and World's Best #1. Those were really friggin' nice books, man. And I did really well on those books. I sold those books right when COVID started. And the story with those books, actually, Luke, is crazy. Because I bought those books. I got them graded. I was freaking out because I thought they were color touched and had glue on the spine. And I was freaking out. And I paid up for those books too, right? So I sent them in. They both came back Universal Blue 3.0, both of them. And they were gorgeous. Anyways, I put them for sale right away. I think I put like $1,500 a book on them, and nothing. No bites. No one was interested. Took them to a couple of shows. No one wanted them. And so whatever, right? I let it go. But then COVID hits, and I was bored one night. I was like, I'm going to put some books up for sale. And so I put those two books up on Facebook Marketplace, and a fella from the States, from I think Boston or Massachusetts somewhere, and I put $6,000 on them, $3,000 each. No haggling, no nothing. Boom, bought them. I was like, what the frig? And that was kind of the beginning of the COVID craziness, where guys were at home and they were looking for stuff constantly. And so I did all right on those books. I was pretty happy. I did pretty good on those books. And they were nice books, though. And they're two books I would happily, especially the Comics Cavalcade, would love to have back, because it's a beautiful cover. Look up Comics Cavalcade #1, DC Comics Cavalcade #1. Gorgeous cover. And you probably all you guys know about the world's best #1. It's Batman, Robin, and Superman playing baseball on the front cover. Thomas says, good points. You have to have a good eye. Thanks for the answers. My pleasure, my friend. They're all off white to white. That's good. The covers are dirty then, Stav. And I'll look them over when I see them for sure. I like the qualified idea. Yeah, I think so too. I think for a trim book, a piece is missing, a piece is gone. That makes more sense than restoration, right? Potishin says, just got Green Label Batman 244-70 signed by Neil Adams, Dennis O'Neil, and Dick Giordano. And you know what? Now you have a choice, Brad. Do you keep it the way it is, or do you send it to CBCS for the verification? Me personally, I wouldn't. They can keep their verified signature. I wouldn't. I'd keep it in the Green Label. And in fact, I just had another fella. Who was it? It was Brian. I don't know if Brian's watching or not. He gave me some modern books signed by Todd McFarlane, and he said, I want the blue. You ask, and oh, by the way, this is kind of cool, Brad. You might like this. You can request to CGC to give you a blue label on that qualified book. You can send it back and say, please regrade it and give it a blue label. And they'll knock points off for those signatures. So your 7.5, 7.0 might drop down to a 6.0 blue label, and it will say signatures, unverified signatures on front cover or something like that. So you can get a blue label with CGC, In fact, I think that's how it should be. I think if you've got an unverified signature, CGC should just say unverified signature and knock the points off and stop giving all these signatures these blue labels, these green labels to signatures. I hate it. To me, qualified should be if there's a page missing or if something in the book is missing, or again, like I said, if it's been trimmed, give it a qualified label. Don't give it a restored label for a trim because it hasn't been restored, and don't give it a qualified label if there's an unverified signature. That's stupid. It's stupid. There were people signing comic books well before the inception of CGC, right? So come on, guys, get with it. Or create a service similar to CBCS and offer that. You know what I mean? Anyways, that's my opinion. But again, what do I know? And I talked to Brittany McManus from CGC, and I'm going to be interviewing her at some point in the new year. Again, guys, once the office is set up, once things are kind of moving along, there's this new software I want to get for streaming that makes interviewing people very, very easy, because I want to interview a lot of you guys too. I want to get a lot of you guys on here because a lot of you have amazing stories to tell, great collections to share, and expertise you can share with us as well. And I want to get you guys on here doing interviews. So it's just not me talking all the time, it's some of you guys as well. But that'll be a good interview with Brittany McManus. She's a Signature Series rep, and she knows the ins and outs at CGC, and we can ask her all kinds of kooky questions. Nicely, because she's a nice lady. All right. David, hey, David, how's it going? Did you see Gem Mint Instagram video of the Fantastic Four? Oh, my God. A $6,500 book. eBay sold him and shipped it in a bubble envelope. Needless to say, it arrived cracked. Oh, no, I didn't see that. I got to check that out. Oh, my Lord. Imagine that. That's crazy. I don't understand people putting books into a bubble mailer. Like, what are you thinking, man? Potishin, I don't blame you. I'd keep it too. I've got a Chris Claremont signed Iron Fist 14 9.6. First Sabretooth. Green label. Keeping it. I don't care. Keeping it, baby. But as soon as they have an Iron Fist or Sabretooth label, I'll be sending it in. Stav, what happens if a nobody that put their name on the book, how do they grade that? Exactly. So if little Billy Johnson signs Billy Johnson on the front of his cover, does it get qualified? No, it gets a blue label, right? That's what I'm talking about. It makes no sense. Shouldn't that Billy Johnson also get it qualified? Right? So yeah, it should be a blue label all the way. Well, anything before 2000 is unverifiable. Potishin, exactly, right? So I get that. And even still, you know, a lot of these artists will sign books for free if they're not being graded. If you're just getting a book signed because you're a fan, a lot of dudes will just sign the book. So what's wrong with that? You know, like George Perez signed, he didn't charge me nothing, Perez. He just signed the book, three books. And then Jim Starlin came by and signed some other people's books that were there as well. Didn't charge us anything, right? Because they know it's not being sold. It's from a fan. And if you're a fan and you're not getting their signatures to be sold, they're a lot more warm to you, and they want to do that for you. And the same thing goes with movie stars too, right? Who was it I was watching? It was I think Andrew Garfield. Andrew Garfield or no, I think it was George Lucas, actually. There was George Lucas was signing signatures for fans. And these other dudes with like posters came up and he wouldn't sign them. And he said, "You're not a fan. You're doing as soon as I sign this, you're going to sell it. So F you." And he told them to buzz off. And he got in a big fight with these guys on YouTube. But if you're a fan, if you're a kid and you got, if you're a fan, you've got a little comic or a poster or whatever, and you just want a signature, most celebrities will happily sign something and not charge you a penny. But it's all these dealers, and no offense, they're almost like paparazzi. They're very aggressive, and they're aggressive with these celebrities, and that's awful, right? And they get pissed off, and they don't want to sign stuff. And so, like even Stan Lee, I know Stan Lee wasn't at a convention or his people weren't around. He happily signed stuff. I know that. White Tiger, cool, calm, collected. Cowabunga, man. How's it going, White Tiger? How you doing? Happy New Year, my friend. And green labels are some good deals, and they are. And I can tell you a little trick to get away from a green label if you want to go blue. Should purple labels even exist? Restoring a book, is it really restoration? Well, you know, to me, I always said that, look it, you got a blue, you know, people are, we're all a little bit OCD, all of us, right? We all want to have, you know, if you've got all blue labels going across your wall and then you have one purple one, people don't like that. They want all blue, right? So I get that. So I always said, couldn't they come up with some other way to using this blue label to let us know there's been restoration work done on it? Like I know that's one reason a lot of guys like CBCS, because the restored, it says restored on the blue label, but it's still a blue label, so it kind of matches, you know. So I always say, could you come with like on the back of the label? Couldn't you put like a star system, like 5-star no restoration, or 3-star no restoration, 2-star, whatever, and have a star system so you because you still want to know if the book has been restored or not, because that obviously affects the value. But as collectors, and especially if you're displaying your books, people don't want to see the purple label or the green label. Although the green label does not really bother me, especially if it's just because of a signature. If it's missing something, I don't want a 181 with a missing, value stamp. That's me. I don't want that. But some guys don't give a rat's behind. But there are ways around it. And again, the ways around it are the custom labels. Those $5 custom labels. If you have a book that's restored, if you have a book that's been restored, or a book that has green label and you want a custom label, they do not offer the custom label with green or purple. The custom labels are only good, I believe, on the blue and the gold, right? So if you want a custom, if you send a book in for reslabbing and ask for a custom label, they will make notations on the label, but you'll get the color that you wanted. So that's kind of a way around it. If you want that blue, if that's all you want, that blue label, you can get the custom label, but it has to make sense. You mentioned you have a Batman book there, Brad. It's not going to work. They don't have any Batman labels. They have no DC labels that make any sense. So it really wouldn't work. But if you've got right now currently a Fantastic Four, say number 5, I just pull that number out of my head, and it's got a purple or a green label, and you want the blue label, then send it back for a reslabbing and ask for the custom Fantastic Four label, and it'll come back blue with a little Fantastic Four picture, and the restoration stuff will be noted instead of getting that purple label. That's a way around it, and that's what they should do, in my opinion, with the blue label anyways. Just get rid of the purple label. Get rid of the green label too. Keep it simple, man. I don't know. That's just me. Again, what do I know? Because I'm looking at it from a collector's point of view, and I know collectors oftentimes want to have things look uniform. Unless, of course, you've got the signature series that really pops, or if you got that, the one I showed you the other day on the unboxing, the, what do you call it? The pedigree books, right? The black and gold. That's pretty cool too. And then there's conservation as well. They've done that with the conservation too, blue with the silver stripe, which isn't too bad. George Lucas signed my son's Stormtrooper helmet at Star Wars Celebration. Met him in elevator. He was awesome. You know what, Brad? That's awesome, because Lucas oftentimes gets the bad rap, man. He's made out to be a real a-hole. And you know what? The fans done him bad, The fans did Lucas bad, so. Oh, George Perez is having a custom label. But only in his signatures, right? That's cool. For any book, or just the books he signs, like Stan Lee. Same idea? That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Anyways, what time is it? Oh, I got to go. I got to go, my friends. I have to go because I have to pick up dinner in half an hour, and it takes me 20 minutes to get there. My friends. Hot damn it. Happy New Year, guys. Happy New Year. I hope 2022 brings you all kinds of happiness and good fortune and all that stuff. And I hope you stay here with the channel over the next year. I hope we can grow this baby up a little more. And I hope I can expand it a little more, make it a little more interesting for you. Doing the exact same thing each week. I guess you guys like it, but you know what? I want to expand it and make it a little more interesting for you as well, too. And you know what, guys? Again, happiest of New Year's. Hope you had a great time this last week and a half with your family and your friends as we hunker down to fight this ridiculous COVID nonsense moving forward. But I think we're going to get through it really quick this time around. Again, have a great night. Have a great weekend. I probably won't be back until, I'll try to come back sometime in the week. There won't be a lot. There's no books coming back as of yet. I haven't seen any books coming back. Maybe they sent some out today. I don't know. So unboxings will happen as the books come in. I am going to sort those books I have right now, not right this second, but the next couple of days. And I will let people know if your orders are complete. And if they are, I'll mail them back to you. If you're far away, if you're close by, you can always do a curbside pickup here at my place. We can work all that out, guys. Again, thanks for dropping by. I hope you enjoyed my DC comic collection, the first of my DC batch. I'll do another one of these videos in a week or two, probably with more Marvel books this time because I have more of those to share. Until next time, again, guys, have a great night. Have a safe night. And we'll see you again very, very soon. And once more, for the 4th or 5th time, Happy New Year. Bye for now.